Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Manchester United have just beaten Wolves 1-0 at Molineux. Manchester United didn't deserve to win. It was a very poor performance by Manchester United. Wolves played very well. Adama Traore created some good chances. Trincao also had some chances. There was one chance he had, and Wan-Bissaka made a very good clearance. Raul Jimenez had a good chance, produced a good save from David De Gea. Moutinho also had a chance. Ruben Neves had a chance in the second half. Romain Saiz should have scored for Wolves. David De Gea made a double save to deny him. I thought Fred was very poor for us. He gave the ball away far too many times, and like I've mentioned to you, I've got my strong reservations about Fred. We overpaid for Fred. We got him in a deal worth 50 million from Shakhtar Donetsk. Fred actually had a chance in the game. I thought Pogba was poor today. Pogba though did have a chance in the game that produced a good save from the Wolves goalkeeper. Pogba gave the ball away quite a few times and was very sloppy on the ball. Mason Greenwood, he had a chance at the end of the first half, just went wide. Mason Greenwood scored the winning goal. It was a low right foot goal. Greenwood hit it. It came off the Wolves goalkeeper. Solskjaer brought substitutions on in the game. Obviously Edinson Cavani came on and Anthony Martial came on. We saw Rafael Varane make his debut today. And we also saw Jadon Sancho make his first Premier League start. But I'm very delighted with the result, but not the performance. I think we are now, third in the Premier League. We've won 2 games out of 3. From a Wolves perspective, they'll be very disappointed that they didn't get anything from the game. I thought they did deserve at least a point. Wolves have lost their first 3 league games and they haven't scored 1 goal. Wolves are in the relegation zone. Wolves' manager is Bruno Lage. They appointed him in earlier on in the summer. Before he was at Wolves, he was at Benfica. But like I said to you, Wolves are going to really struggle this season. Don't forget they lost Diego Jota last year to Liverpool, and Diego Jota was one of their key players. They also lost Matt Doherty. Wolves were very consistent when they had Nuno Santo, because Nuno Santo got them 2 7th placed finishes in the Premier League. He also got them up to the Premier League from the Championship, and a couple of years ago Nuno Santo got Wolves to their first FA Cup semi-final for 21 years. Nuno Santo left Wolves at the end of last season. He's now Tottenham's manager. we beat Wolves at Molineux in the final game of last season, 2-1. Our goals came from Juan Mata and Elanga. We beaten Wolves at Old Trafford last season, 1-0. And it was a late goal from Marcus Rashford. But the performances have got to improve, because we weren't good today at all, and we weren't good last weekend against Southampton. Greenwood, got us a point last weekend against Southampton, but we put a very good performance out against Leeds on the opening day. Obviously, we do have some players missing. Obviously, Marcus Rashford is out with a shoulder injury. He's out until October, because earlier on this summer, Marcus Rashford decided to have surgery on his shoulder. Alex Telles is still out. He sustained an ankle injury in training before the start of the season, but Telles wouldn't have been in contention to play today. Eric Bailly has been out due to personal reasons. Elanga's obviously been out due to personal reasons. Dean Henderson's obviously been out because he's been recovering from COVID. Wolves have obviously got some players out. Obviously, today there was no Mosquera for them. Bowena is out. Neto's out, and Neto is definitely one of Wolves' key players, and Johnny's out. Daniel Podence was out with injury, but obviously he's now back. He did come on in the game today. So we do play Newcastle after the international break. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer confirms that Cristiano Ronaldo will play as a centre forward. Manchester United will pay Cristiano Ronaldo $6 million a year. That's less than his Juventus wage. So Ronaldo has agreed a salary cut, but he's still the highest earner at Manchester United. Cristiano Ronaldo won't be wearing the number 7 according to recent reports, but the Premier League announced that Cristiano Ronaldo is Man United's new number 7. But Cavani also has the famous shirt on the website. Now, Manchester United re-signed Cristiano Ronaldo after 12 years. We got Ronaldo in a deal worth 19.8 million with add-ons included. Man United paid 12.8 million up front. Ronaldo will sign a 2-year contract with Man United worth £480,000 a week. The Cristiano Ronaldo deal is subject to a medical, the personal terms and the visa. Cristiano Ronaldo is Man United's 4th signing of this summer transfer window. But I'm surprised that Cristiano Ronaldo has come back, because I thought he was going to be going to Man City, because it did mention that Man City were the favourites to sign Cristiano Ronaldo. Man City held talks with Cristiano Ronaldo's agent George Mendes. But then Man City pulled out of the race. The reason Man City went in for Ronaldo is because they couldn't get Harry Kane, because Harry Kane is staying at Tottenham. A couple of days ago, Cristiano Ronaldo left Juventus training. He was there for around 40 minutes. But in Solskjaer's press conference before the game against Wolves, he made a public plea for Cristiano Ronaldo to rejoin Man United, because Ronaldo made it clear to Juventus that he wanted to leave. You know, in Ronaldo's first spell at Manchester United, he scored 118 goals in 292 games in all competitions. And in his first spell, he won 3 Premier League titles, he won the Champions League, he won the FA Cup, he won a couple of League Cups, and he won the FIFA Club World Cup. In his first spell at Man United, he endured 6 years. You know, he was with us from 2003 to 2009. We got him from Sporting Lisbon back in 2003 for 12 million. Sold him to Real Madrid for 80 million back in 2009, so we gained a 68 million pound profit. He endured like 10 years with Real Madrid, and Juventus got him in 2018 for 100 million euros, which equates to around 88 million in pounds sterling. Cristiano Ronaldo's current contract at Juventus was due to expire next year. He endured 3 years at Juventus, but Cristiano Ronaldo is the greatest player of all time. He's won 32 major trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. I'm expecting Ronaldo to play against Newcastle after the international break. Now, the summer transfer window shuts on Tuesday. Can Manchester United make one more signing before the transfer window closes? Now, Solskjaer's priority is to get a midfielder in. And there's been quite a few midfielders on our agenda. You know the news on Declan Rice from West Ham. Solskjaer did mention that he still wants Declan Rice, but faces a battle for the West Ham midfielder. Declan Rice did mention that he's unhappy with West Ham's 100 million price tag. Declan Rice has rejected 3 contract offers at West Ham. He's planning to run down his contract. Declan Rice has 3 years left on his contract at West Ham. We was in for Saul Niguez from Atletico Madrid, but I've now disregarded Saul Niguez because, according to Mundo Deportivo, Saul Niguez is set to stay at Atletico Madrid. But last week, it said that Chelsea made an official bid for Saul Niguez. It was an initial loan deal with an option to buy next summer, but now Chelsea are set to miss out on him. Not so long ago, there was something in Saul Niguez to Manchester United, because it said that Saul Niguez was set to complete an imminent transfer to Man United. It said would have brought him in on an initial loan deal, and the loan would include an option to buy or maybe even an obligation to buy, and it did mention that Man United would pay a loan fee and would pay the midfielders full wages for the entire season. And AS said that Saul Niguez was on the verge of leaving Atletico Madrid. Niguez is valued at 38 million. You know, we've also been in for Ruben Neves from Wolves. Not so long ago it said that Man United were eyeing a cut price deal for Ruben Neves. We was unwilling to pay 40 million. It said Wolves want 40 million to let Ruben Neves go. The other week, Bruno Lage did mention that he wants to keep Ruben Neves, but he did say every player has a price. Earlier on in the summer, Ruben Neves hinted that he'd made a decision on his future. He culled any talks of a transfer away. He seems very happy at Wolves. And he revealed his excitement of working alongside Bruno Lage. And we've also been linked with Eduardo Camavinga from Rennes. But Man United have made 4 signings in this summer transfer window. We brought Tom Heaton in on a free from Aston Villa. We brought Jadon Sancho in from Borussia Dortmund. We brought Rafael Varane in from Real Madrid. And we brought Cristiano Ronaldo in. And we've spent around £130 odd million. Before the news came out about Ronaldo coming back to Man United, the Manchester Evening News said that Man United were unlikely to make any more signings. Man United have not sold one single player in this summer transfer window. I am surprised by that. And Solskjaer the other week was warned that he needs to sell to buy. We've loaned quite a few players out. We loaned Brandon Williams out to Norwich. We loaned Ethan Laird out to Swansea. We loaned Andres Pereira out to Flamengo. We loaned Axel Tuanzebe out to Aston Villa. We also loaned Tahith Chong out to Birmingham. And we loaned Facundo Pellistri out to Alaves. Now, earlier on today, I gave you the news on Amad Diallo. So Fabrizio Romano has already said that Feyenoord are close to signing Amad Diallo on loan until the end of the season. Solskjaer confirmed that Amad Diallo will be going out on loan. But Fabrizio Romano did mention not so long ago that Amad Diallo is still expected to leave Man United on loan, and he did mention that Crystal Palace asked for him, and so too Sheffield United asked for him, but he said he's interested in Premier League clubs. But the other week, before the Southampton game, Solskjaer did actually say he expected Amad Diallo to stay at Man United for this season, because he did mention that he was impressed with him in training. We got Amad Diallo in a deal worth £37 million from Atlanta. We paid $19 million up front. And you know the news on Daniel James. Daniel James actually played today against Wolves. Man United have decided to loan Daniel James out following the arrival of Cristiano Ronaldo. A few clubs are in for Daniel James. Everton are in for him. Leeds are in for him. Brighton are in for him. And Crystal Palace are in for him. Leeds were very close to getting Daniel James back in January 2019. James doesn't really get a lot of game time now at Man United, does he? When Daniel James first came in, he was an absolute revelation for us, and his pace is unbelievable. We got James in a deal worth $15 million from Swansea back in the summer of 2019, and James has got a contract with Man United until 2024. There's an option of a further year. There is still certain players that are not good enough to represent the club. You know, obviously Phil Jones isn't good enough. Jones has always been inconsistent, and Phil Jones doesn't really get in our 11. There's a good chance Jones will leave next summer. Jones won't be leaving in this summer transfer window, so Jones is staying at Man United this season. After Solskjaer told him he remains part of his plans. Jones made his comeback from injury in that behind closed doors game against Burnley. Jones was out with a knee injury for a while. He sustained a knee injury in the FA Cup game against Tranmere, was it last season? Jones is the only outfield player that's still with us from the Ferguson era. Jones has endured 10 years at Manchester United, so he's been a long-serving player at the club. I also mentioned that I want Diego Dalot to leave, but it looks very likely that Diego Dalot is staying. Sky Sports News confirmed that, and so too did the Manchester Evening News. He said the same thing a few weeks ago. But Sky Sports News recently said that Borussia Dortmund were in talks to sign Diego Dalot. There was interested in a loan with an option to buy next summer, and I think 2 other clubs have been in for Diego Dalot. To Diego Dalot's credit, he did well throughout pre-season. Last season, he was out on loan with AC Milan. He's our backup right back to Wan-Bissaka, is Diego Dalot. We brought Diego Dalot in 3 years ago from Porto. We paid £19 million for him. He's got a contract with Man United until 2023. Matic is another player I want us to offload because he's not good enough to represent the club. As you all know, I've got my strong reservations about Matic. He's always been a static midfielder. He makes too many mistakes, plus he's ageing up, and we overpaid for Matic. We got him for 40 million from Chelsea back in 2017. So Matic has been with us now for like 4 years. Fred, he's not good enough to represent the club. Like I mentioned, he was abysmal today against Wolves. Give the ball away too many times. 2 of Wolves' chances came from 2 of Fred's mistakes early on. And Fred was abysmal against Southampton last weekend. Obviously, Southampton's goal was an own goal by Fred, and plus Fred gave the ball away a lot in that game. Lindelof, I also want us to offload him because he isn't good enough to represent the club. Jesse Lingard, I also want us to offload him. It looks like Jesse Lingard is leaving. Like I updated you earlier on today, a report from the Sunday Mirror said that West Ham are planning to make a £15 million bid for Lingard, which is a cut price deal. It also mentioned that Everton are planning to make an offer for Lingard. Now, a few weeks ago, West Ham's first team coach, Stuart Pearce, said that West Ham want to sign Lingard, and he did mention that he's a special lad. The other week, it said West Ham received a boost in their pursuit of Lingard because we dropped our asking price for Lingard to 20 million. And Romano did mention that West Ham were going to submit another bid. But not so long ago, Solskjaer confirmed that Lingard remains part of his first team plans, despite the ongoing speculation. Lingard's current contract at Man United expires next year. And I also want us to offload Anthony Martial because he isn't good enough to represent the club. So there you go, and like I said to you earlier on today, Manchester United have a title winning squad. So there's no more excuses now. I said before Ronaldo came in that the signings of Sancho and Varane turned Manchester United into title contenders. But I think, with Ronaldo coming back, we should be winning the Premier League. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013, which is 8 years ago now. And Solskjaer's ambition for this season is to win the Premier League. What an achievement it would be if Solskjaer was to win the Premier League this season. And Solskjaer has not yet won any silverware as Man United manager. He's got to win some silverware this season to basically save his job. We haven't won a trophy since 2017, and that's nowhere near good enough to our standards. Solskjaer's definitely not the long-term manager for Man United, despite us getting Sancho and Varane and plus bringing Cristiano Ronaldo back. I told you, my biggest concern about Ole is his decision making, because analysing the vast majority of his games at Man United, he's been tactically naive. And plus, Solskjaer doesn't have a proven pedigree as a manager. That's another one of my concerns about him. But that doesn't mean to say he can't succeed as Manchester United manager. You know, Solskjaer has now managed 100 games in the Premier League for Man United. That game today against Wolves was his 100th Premier League game as Man United manager. He's managed over 150 games as Man United manager in all competitions. But I said to Solskjaer knows this is a massive season for him, and he's aware of that because he has got big expectations to exceed. But to be fair, in this summer transfer window, Solskjaer has received the backing he deserves. Our owners, the Glazers, have backed him only because they've been persuaded to. Woodward said several times before that I'd back Solskjaer. Also, John Murtough, he's backed Solskjaer. He's played a part in getting Solskjaer the players that he wanted in. John Murtough is our director of football, and we certainly made the right decision getting a director of football in. And, Darren Fletcher's played a part as well, and Matt Judge is part of the club. This summer transfer window has been Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. Before the start of the season, Solskjaer signed a new contract with the club until 2024. There's an option of a further year. A lot of United fans disagreed with us giving him that new contract, because I don't think he'll see out that new contract. Ole has been in charge of Man United now for almost 3 years, but he has gained managerial experience, reflecting how long he's been at the club. On my next video, I will be giving you my player ratings from this game. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.